Hello everybody, happy Diwali. In the current affairs this week, the first and the most interesting and important news for India which I wanted to share was that this week crude is down by 4.73%. This is a big positive news for India because India has a major import of crude and that acts as a strain on the foreign exchange of India in a very big way. This decline in the value of crude is very interesting and positive for India. In the month of November, crude was at a high of $88 to a barrel, which has scaled down to $77 to a barrel on this Friday. Another interesting news was that the Nasdaq has continued its rally and it is up by more than 2.21%. So that is an interesting news not just for the Nasdaq but for the technology sector as such across the globe. And this is also interesting and positive for a lot of startups in India whose valuations are quite linked with that of the way the Nasdaq works and Nasdaq performs. Gold this week was down by 2.21% and silver was down by 2.83%. So the world has started understanding that we need not fear so much about the crisis in the Middle East. Another interesting news, which is the way the world looks at the Indian manufacturing, is that Walmart has said that they would be sourcing from India goods worth $10 billion per year, which has presently reached after 20 years of sourcing at just 3 billion. So this target of 10 billion is set to be achieved by 2027. So whatever has been achieved in last 20 years was just 3 billion per year of sourcing, which they intend by 2027 it has to be 10 billion per year. So when Nasdaq and all the Indian startup ecosystem and the manufacturing in India is on an upswing, these kinds of things, these kinds of confidence placed by global players is going to be a lot of positive news for Indian manufacturing and the Indian industry as such. Passenger vehicle sales in the month of October had, as we all know, Navratri and Dussehra, but still they were down by 1.4%. In this Diwali, it is expected that the passenger vehicle sales would pick up, and by the year end they are expected to grow by 7 to 8%. But the fact is that in the month of October there was a contraction of or a reduction in the sales by 1.4%. In the month of October, the month witnessed the highest ever e-way bill issuance, which was unprecedented. So the sales, the extent of business which can be gauged by the generation of e-way bills is something which speaks of the way the economy is moving. As far as the global trends of business is concerned, WeWork, which is one of the biggest co-working spaces providers in the world, they have filed for bankruptcy in the US. In India also, WeWork operates, but it is a separate entity, and it is said that the WeWork in India will continue the way it is and it would not get impacted. But the bankruptcy of WeWork in US speaks of the way the kind of business activity has got impacted in the US. Finally, some interesting news on the way the stock market is behaving and the way the flows in the stock market are behaving. In the month of October, mutual funds invested 17,000 crores in the Indian equity market. And in the same month, foreign portfolio investors divested or sold stocks equity to the extent of 22,100 crores. So, the Indian mutual funds, the Indian investors, the people of India who have got confidence in the Indian economy have pumped in 17,000 crores in Indian equities and have shown confidence in India. And this is what is a great news for all of us. Thank you very much.